So I think I have what is it called? Screen grabber or whatever, where we could like watch along together and then you could kind of see what I'm talking about, but I don't really feel like setting that up. Maybe I will for the next video, but not for this one. Anyway, my point. Maybe we can move this around to see if the lighting gets better. You want to fix the Beyonce poster? Let's fix the Beyonce poster. Beyonce, get up, bitch. Stay up. You can't be as blind and laying down. You must stay up, Beyonce. You're always up. Be great. Alright. Yes, have to. I gotta inspire my bitch sometimes. She gets down, so we have to improve her self confidence. It'll be okay, Beyonce. Stay great. Stay by the bar, bitch. Just. Oh, don't come after me, Beyonce. I love Beyonce. The album's right there. I love her so much. I'm just joking. It was a joke. Okay, no. So we're gonna watch this video. It's on Vice. It's a video by Vice. Living with nearly 100,000% inflation. So it says, as inflation in Argentina soared close to 100% in 2022, a 30-year high. Some people are doing whatever it takes to survive. Some barter online for pantry staples, and others ditch the peso to shield the value of their savings. So some okay, this is the issue that I'm having with a lot of conversations around people coming from the developing world. If you go watch some of the interviews of men, at this point it's really men, women, and children who are fleeing like Afghanistan. If you didn't see what was happening there, there's like a 4 feet of water over basically like a large portion of the country. Like 60% of the country is underwater, and like you can't do anything in that. Like you can't live in your home anymore. You certainly can't. Business as normal doesn't function. So you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, you can't like do anything with that. Um and that is like hard. Um that's hard. People wonder like, oh man, like people wonder people try to figure out, how to maneuver up and around these really difficult situations. And there's not much you can do, because if you don't have, even if you like had the money for a plane ticket, obviously everyone from that country can't flee the country, because where are they going to go? This is why you see a lot of people like Billie Eilish talking about, and Greta, whatever, talking about climate action, because places that people like Greta live are going to be inhabitable very soon. In the same way, Afghanistan, a large part of it, there's the war stuff that was happening before, sure. But I think a lot of you guys are not. You guys are like brushing over what's happening in Central America. And I've been sitting here talking about it for a very long time. I think some people think that I'm anti Latino, and that's not the case. I'm anti racism. So when I see anti black racism coming from a part of the world that is suffering such economic destitution that they are almost like forcing, like, no, I'm not promoting any Latinx person to come and live in the place that I'm currently living when they are racist toward me. Like, I don't want that. I want them to stay over there. Like, I want the Rosalia fans to go be in Central. You see, like, we're going to watch this documentary and talk about what's happening in Argentina, but like, these are Rosalia's people. Okay. All y'all who keep thinking I'm joking about all the things happening with Latin America and who want to be Crips and shit, like, this is America, and there's not one race that owns this land. That's not how it is here. Now you can talk all you want about in Mexico, in Argentina, in where the fuck ever, those people are from and what's happening in their land and the reasons why they would like to be racist and exclusionary and all these things. That's fine. You can do that shit in the privacy of your own home, on your own land. Now, the reason that I have to keep writing about men from the developing world is because these people are coming here. Like, they're bringing all that bullshit here. So let's see what they're bringing, because they're not bringing like all of this like academic capital where they're building technology that can improve my life. I need a sweep. She's got 4 rolls of toilet paper. She's trying to trade this shit for toilet paper and sugar. That's what she's saying. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's saying she has to work 3 jobs now, and what she's paid isn't enough. She's saying trading on the Facebook marketplace helps her get things she can't afford. She puts it in these groups. She's saying people need sugar for these cookies for kids, pasta. She's saying it's building a network. Damn. Right. Hyperinflation. Hmm.
Es un fenómeno histórico en la Argentina. Ha sido un callejón recurrente del que pareciera ser imposible salir.
Uh, I'm not even trying to be funny about this, but like pesos are worth so fucking little. So like just imagine even right now if you go to the dollar store, like there's basically nothing you can get for $1. So I'm just not sure how much money these people have that they would be exchanging it anyway for. Like I suppose if they sold their entire home, all of their belongings, literally everything, and they got maybe $100 or something, then they could cross the border and then live in one of the hotels. Like, I'm just not sure what the situation is, because being here in one of the detention camps or in one of the shelters in New York is no life. I suppose to the women who have children and they are just putting their kids in public school, If they can actually do that, I'm not even mad at you for gaming the system, but let's not get it twisted. It's still like a come up in a game because you're taking public school slots that are not for you. Like, you didn't really work to get here. You just illegally crossed the border. So
Downtown Buenos Aires is packed with arbolitos, money exchangers selling dollars for about twice the official rate. And some savvy arbolitos, like Fernando Santangelo, will deliver them right to your door. On a good day, he's exchanging up to $20,000 for clients all across Buenos Aires.
wow.
¿Cómo estás, amigo? Tranquilo, ¿y usted? ¿Cuánto me ofrece? Cinco, ¿no? Cinco son para él y dos para... Pero la gente necesita comprar dólares y de alguna forma tiene que...
People need to buy dollars and they get them one way or the other. This is the only option to go to the black market.
This is through WhatsApp, it's through, posting on Facebook. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
Me pongo en las redes
I go on social media, mostly Facebook, looking for clients.
buscar clientes. Por ejemplo, mira, tengo
For example, a client just wrote me asking for $1,000 in pesos.
acá.
I start right here,
Empiezo a copiar y a pegar. Entonces,
copying and pasting in every group.
acá están todos mis
Here you can see my colleague putting up their offers.
vendo 5.000
I'm selling $5,000 at 316 pesos.
y acá tengo un 5.
I have lots of groups in here and they're all active.
Comprando, vendiendo.
Selling, buying, it never stops.
En la noche están todos comprando, vendiendo y porque tiene el peso, tiene los dólares.
The hour doesn't matter.
The illegal market is so widespread that Santangelo says that some of his clients are police officers and government workers.
Wow.
Also says that arbolitos like him get fed the rate of the street dollar directly from people inside the central bank.
Wow.
Es el grupo de difusión.
This is where we get the leaks. In the group, I know when the group rate goes up or down. It's like someone infiltrated and they're leaking to those of us working in money exchange offices. I pay 4,000 pesos, $20 per month to be in this group. Everyone in here pays.
Favorite shade. It's called Poetic. It's a beautiful daytime shade. This color. The central bank denies any involvement in setting the unofficial rate and says that it collaborates with authorities to crack down on the illegal exchange market. Argentina has a general election later this year, and inflation is a hot issue. Mercedes D'Alessandro is a former top government official in the Ministry of Economy.
Sin duda, la inflación es un factor que va a incidir en las elecciones.
Without a doubt, inflation is a factor that will influence us because we were talking about salaries, being able to make ends meet. These things are always key factors that influence the vote.
Think about the policies that this government, previous governments as well, but this government has put in place in order to deal with this economic crisis.
Usando metáfora fútbol,
Using a soccer metaphor, we're running after the ball. Problems happen and they put you out, put out the fire. It's been a while since we've had an economic plan. Okay, I want to stop for a second because woo, I feel like this is what the woman in the feminist panel was getting at because she is a Latinx Native Americans, they're synonymous terms. Like, we're just talking about the like Aboriginal people. They're actually just mixed race people with Native American blood, but that's a whole different fucking conversation. And okay, like, to even give a little bit more context here, when I tell you guys that like my mom is Black American, a lot of you guys don't understand what that like actually means because like slaves transcended from Africa, meaning that they were like 100% African, right? And the European colonizers were like 100% European. So after rape, you get biracial people. That's like literally, if you were a part of slavery, if you're a descendant of slaves, by like nature, you are a biracial person. That's not the point though. Even amongst that, right? Like, even in slavery, especially in California, there have always been not Indians, but like Native Americans, like the Cherokee, the Hitchawah, the Red Flower, like all those things, those tribes they all really be like making fun of with the like baseball tribes and shit. There are real people, okay, who are still alive, who are still there, and some of us really do have that blood flowing through our veins, like my grandma. But when people say that they're like Creole, that's kind of what they're saying. They're saying I'm Native American, I'm black, I'm European, and it doesn't have one look. Like we all don't look like Kaylani. Like she's not the only person who's sitting here with like Native American blood running through her veins, and also most Native American people don't look like her. That is still not the point. Uh, Sorry, I was going somewhere with this. Bring it back, Olivia. Bring it back, Olivia. Yes. So that woman on the panel who was like a Native American Latinx woman, she understands that intersectionality in a way that really a person who identifies strictly as like black or African and a person who identifies strictly as European could never understand because they don't have that intersectionality that she has. That's like really, how do you say, honed in on the land. And a really important part of her story in particular, and why she was saying, how are you mad when people who have been historically marginalized have finally gotten a voice for the first time? And she was basically telling the other woman to shut the fuck up. She is right in so many ways. Like, particularly that group has been just economically ravished. Okay, like their land was stolen. We can talk about like winners and losers and how Americans are winners and all of these things and how capitalism is great, but on the other side of that winning story are losers, and the Native Americans are losers, and they lost a lot. And it's like, if you humanize that losing experience, you will realize that there are lots of women and children who died. So many women and children who died. Specifically, like men died too, but lots of women and children are just raped, pillaged, like disease, famine, land stolen, tradition stolen, all type of shit. It was really, 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 really bad. And this community is going through that again because of like, you guys don't understand how like winner takes all monopoly and capitalism are at the core of why we get to do shit that we get to do in America. Like we get to in Canada and in America, we get to sit up here and make fucking YouTube commentary videos and listen to vinyl Beyonce tracks. Okay, we get to like literally go eat sushi at sushi restaurants while Harry Styles sings to us, and we can make like commentary videos about Kaya Gerber. The bitches in Latin America can't do that, honey. Like whether they are dark skinned, light skinned, they can't do it. They don't have the resources. First of all, there ain't no sushi restaurants that they can afford to go to. Be mad, but that's just how it is. And I don't know. It's like sad, but it's also true. And so, especially when people are having conversations about having a conversation in this case about purity politics is hilarious. Having a conversation even about anti-blackness is just hilarious. All of it is hilarious. Like these people can't even afford rice and beans. Like she is trading her children's clothes for a bowl of sugar and some pasta. No part of that is funny. That's fucking pathetic. Like we are in a really bad, we're down bad as humanity, okay? We are watching other women, like I can't sit here and watch another woman with a fucking child and be like, some child in America is worth more than her child. I don't think that. In my personal opinion, I just don't fucking feel that way. Like that woman deserves to be able to live a life filled with dignity where she can fucking like go to work and then like feed her family and house her children and not be on Facebook Marketplace begging for sugar. Like, if you don't see that there's like a problem in society, it's you. We can't see, seriously, and there's other videos which I will place in the description box, like the one about like how Venezuela is like the most dangerous place for women. I feel very bad because when I see images of some of these women, you know, they're a very similar complexion to me. They have a very similar bone structure. Like, some of these women resemble me, okay? And I'm sitting here just kind of like, this is bullshit. Like, they're like tossing their daughters into the street. They are selling their daughters to all type of like drug dealing, like killers. Like men are violent. And there are women in Venezuela right now who are selling their daughters to just rapists, killers, vampires, all type of crazy shit for money because they don't have another fucking choice. And so when that is the reality right now, and some little girls who have been through some awful shit are getting on those fucking buses and somehow still making it over here. These are the people who are migrating over here. Y'all are seriously having conversations about like Americans are dealing with like mental health issues. The bitch who was sold into slavery at 7 years old is dealing with some fucking mental health issues, and she's coming on a bus going to what is it? The little island in the Hamptons. Okay, y'all are putting her in public school. There's schools, the public schools in the Latinx hoods are filled with people who have been through shit like that. And y'all be laughing at my mental health issues. Get a fucking grip. Like, put your fucking feet on the ground. Like, look at reality in the way that it is. Not the way that you wish it would be. The way that it fucking is. Because y'all are, like, really bugging. We have real problems in this society. Like, real fucking problems. For real. And there's only one world. There's only one society. And I think it's ridiculous. If you're actually, you know, Prince Harry or Prince who the fuck ever, and you're watching this too and you're not doing some shit, man, heads will fucking roll. You can't be a fucking king and watch this is one thing, the main lesson that I learned from Buddhism. I can't remember the prince's name, but the type of practice, the Buddhism that I personally practiced was about this prince. Well, the philosophy stems from the lessons learned from this prince. The big idea is there was a prince. He lived in a castle. He towered above everyone else. And his family told him to never leave the castle because it was dangerous outside of the castle. This is true. Like, his family had all of the resources. And so they built these walls. You know, the walls were very high. Everything was so exclusive. It was very hard to like get into the castle. And his family did that because they knew that everyone outside of the castle had so little resources that if they kind of gotten access to him, they would probably try to hurt him or take things from him. But he realized that this is an awful way to live. He felt restricted. He felt inequality. He felt like the burden of inequality, which is almost like this redemption phase of retribution where you realize there's no possible way for you to live in the world, in any world, where you have everything and everyone else has nothing, and it just becomes okay. So one day he leaves the castle and he just goes to live amongst the common people. He takes off his robe, he takes off his jewelry, and he just goes to live amongst the common people. And he learns all of these lessons about life. He learns all of these lessons. Like, some bad things happened to him. He was stolen from, he was tricked, he was fooled. All of these things happened, but at the same time, he knew where he came from. He knew who he was. He knew what he had, where he came from, and he was kind of able to use that as like a stepping stone to make decisions moving forward without retreating back to the castle. Anyway, there are all of these lessons that stem from that personal experience. But I think that if you are in the developed world, you should really think about your personal situation in the very same way. Like, the women in this video and the women and the people really in the developing world now are in the fucking developing world because it's still fucking developing. There ain't another thing to say. Like, there's that article from the Financial Times, or no, it's actually the article from Avatar, where James Cameron talks about why he created Avatar, like where it stems from, and how he went to this like village and he realized that like in that village people were committing suicide at these like incredibly high rates, and that the people were so far behind in terms of like where technology has gone, and if they were only to know to see, you know, what the developed world was capable of now and how far they were from it, they might just kind of freak out in all these ways because they're like, oh my God, everyone else has this advanced technology and we have nothing, and this isn't good and we want to get better. They could think that. I don't know. Maybe they'll think something else. I don't know. You can't be really sure. But that still isn't the point. The point is that we see, like, I don't think a lot of you guys have the time. Maybe you do have the time, but you just don't care and you don't hear those stories. Like those stories, I care about those stories because I care about poverty. Not just American poverty or hood politics. I care about poverty in general at a global scale. And I think a lot of shit for me changed when I took a class. It's a class from Harvard, I believe, and it's like the economics of poverty. And then later, the year that I took that class, the two teachers of those class won the Nobel Peace Prize for their humanitarian work. It's like a husband and wife who teach this class, and they wrote a book about it. It's like the economics of poverty, and it's mostly about poverty in the developing world and why people stay poor, and all these choices that they make. All of it is very interesting, and I think that if more people knew that that exists, and actually maybe this is something I will share with Nagad. I guess I didn't think about the fact that maybe she hasn't seen this story, and I guess I will put it in the description box, and maybe I'll make it I don't know, I'll make it the thumbnail for this video. But you should definitely watch this clip, and you should read that book, and you should maybe understand, just empathize a little bit more with the shit that the people in the developing world are going through, because it's a lot. And I guess there's all these politics of life. Like, who gets the American card of being on the top? Who gets to be on top? I don't know.